Training camp rolls on for your Seattle Seahawks, and this is Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you for the second time today, as we have some roster updates to get to, some player movement in regards to the injury front, a couple players that have signed, others that have been worked out, released. We'll catch up to speed on everything you need to know that's happened over the last 24 hours coming up on today's show. Before we get to that, folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're closing in on 68,500 subscribers. The only thing missing is you. We are all over training camp. We're bringing you live shows 3 days a week. Madden Sims will have watch parties for every game this season, including the preseason, which starts next week. Lock us in. Doesn't cost you a thing. 100% free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. The latest roster moves for your Seattle Seahawks. We talked about a couple of them yesterday, but I want to go ahead and tell you everything in case you've missed some stuff that has gone on of what has occurred with the roster movement with Seattle. We talked about this on Monday's show. Kenny McIntosh placed on injured reserve. You already know that. It appears that his season is likely done with that ACL injury. Since then, here is what else has happened. His replacement for now is another guy by the name of DK. This time it's DK Kaufman, running back signed and undrafted free agent out of NC State. We'll tell you more about him coming up later on. Another signee is Thor Griffith at the defensive tackle position. He comes over from Louisville, another undrafted free agent. We'll have more on him coming up later on. He is replacing Justin Rogers at the defensive tackle position, who was released today. And then you had about 5 players who worked out for Seattle on Monday. Those include linebacker Jesse Luketa, as well as defensive back Travis Martin. I know a guy named Travis Martin that's a Seahawks fan. I think this guy's different, though. Also, the workout list includes Efe Obada at the defensive end spot. We'll tell you more about him. He's got a fascinating story on his journey to Seattle, or to the National Football League, rather, that we'll talk about here in just a bit. Benny Sapp, the third defensive back, he also worked out, as did Ridge Texada, the defensive back as well, also with a workout as well. So about 9 different roster updates here in the last 24 hours for Seattle to this point. I hate to see it with Kenny McIntosh. It's unfortunate to see his season come to an end before it even started. There was a lot of reason to be optimistic about him from what he had shown there in 2024. I'm not expecting much from Kaufman, personally speaking. I don't think that he's going to be around for very long, and let me explain why. Let's start off with this. He just now is learning the running back position. Folks, he played safety in college. He converted to running back within the last couple of months, which is a bit of a head-scratcher. Like, wait, now is when you're changing positions when you enter the National Football League? That's interesting. But nonetheless, he did take part in Seahawks minicamp as a tryout player, and they must have liked what they saw from him in his conversion to the running back position. Played at NC State, played at about 3 different colleges, actually, as he also was with the Auburn Tigers and the Vanderbilt Commodores. His best chance, though, even though we talk about this conversion for him from safety to running back, is going to be on special teams. That's where he could potentially have a shot to make the 53-man roster. I would not expect him to be used much at the running back spot. Kenny McIntosh, of course, was a player that was heavily involved in special teams. John Boyle of Seahawks.com writing this: with McIntosh out, Kaufman very well could factor into the kick return competition after returning kicks for most of his college career. Kaufman thrived in that role last season at NC State, gaining 469 yards and 15 returns. Good for an average of 31.3 yards per return, which ranked 4th in the nation among players with at least 10 returns. The other signing, Thor Griffith, an undrafted free agent out of Louisville. He's a very smart guy, as he played at Harvard, and that's where his best football happened, was there at Harvard, as he was a first-team FCS All-American in 2023, also a two-time first-team All-Ivy League selection in 22 and in 23. His stats, not anything earth-shattering last year at Louisville, as he accounted for 21 total tackles, 6 TFLs, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. I personally think he's kind of just a camp body at this point. Don't really see him making the 53-man roster, but we shall see what happens there. We'll talk more about the roster moves in just a bit, but first, time to whip out your red pen. How would you grade the Seahawks roster moves? It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know what you think. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give you my grade on the other side, but want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comment section below. My grade is a B-, and the reason why I'm going to go B- here is I don't think any of these moves are earth-shattering, but they don't hurt you too much. I think you could have done better than Kaufman when it comes to replacing Kenny McIntosh, but I think that realistically, Kaufman probably isn't going to be the long-term solution. You still have Damian Martinez, of course, among other possibilities here. I'll say this, though. The player to watch among those that have worked out, haven't signed just yet, that could change, is Efe Obada. And he has got quite the story, folks. If you don't know anything about him, let's tell you more. He is British-Nigerian, which is not something you say too often about a player in the National Football League. And here's what I mean as far as his story goes, folks. So at the age of 10, he and his sister were trafficked in London, and they were left homeless, left to fend for themselves. They slept in an office block before living in 10 different foster homes in his childhood. All right? He's been through a lot. Later on, he worked as a security guard at Grace Foods there in the United Kingdom. As a kid, just trying to make ends meet. This guy has been through a lot. He has overcome the odds. It is an incredible story that we're sitting here talking about this in 2025, that a guy that survived everything that he went through with his sister at the age of 10, to have the opportunity to play American tackle football in the National Football League for the Seattle Seahawks. Just to get that tryout is an incredible story. That's what dreams are made of, folks. And if he were to sign with Seattle, he actually has some pretty decent experience. He's been in the league a while. He was undrafted in 2015 after playing for the London Warriors. And he spent some time on the active roster for both the Panthers, the Bills, and the Commanders. And he's played in a decent amount of games, 80 career games with 3 starts in his career. It's an incredible journey for him to reach this point. It's a success for him to be even talking about still being around in the National Football League after everything that he's gone through. I love that he's getting a chance here. I don't know if Seattle's going to sign him or not, or if another team will for that matter. But for me, I think it's inspiring. And if you take anything away from today's show, folks, just know that you can overcome the odds too. That no matter the circumstances or the obstacles you go through, that there is still a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that Obada here is showing that, hey, he's not giving up and that he's going through this journey to get to the National Football League. It's quite the story. His career stats in 80 career games played, he's accounted for 92 total tackles, 15 TFLs, 42 QB hits, 2 fumble recoveries as well as 1 forced fumble, and 15 total sacks in his career. So maybe a potential fit for some depth on the defensive line. We'll see. Now that you know the story here with Efe Obada, should Seattle sign him? Your chance to be the GM here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Type S for sign, P for pass. Way in the comments section and let us know. We got an insane deal we're offering right now, folks. You see this cutoff hoodie? If Bill Belichick were coaching the Seahawks, he'd be wearing this thing. You need to be wearing this thing. At one point in time, it was $55. Now it's only $33, and there's only one place you can get it. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks sale is where you can get yours. All sorts of different shapes and sizes available to your liking. We also have other Seahawks merchandise at that same link as well. Chatsports.com/Seahawks sale to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks sale. So now we've gone over these roster moves. 2 players have been brought in, 1 on injured reserve, 1 released, and you had 5 total workouts done at this point. Seattle sits here with about $35.2 million in cap space, and that's been updated since the release of Noah Fant. And so that's got me thinking that they're not just going to sit on this pile of cash. All right? There are more moves coming here pretty soon. And if you sign any of these players that worked out, that, of course, isn't going to change much, if anything at all, when it comes to the salary cap situation. And even the 2 players you just signed doesn't really change hardly anything either. But I think there's more moves coming. I'm very interested to see over the next few days with training camp and when we get to these preseason games how the offensive guard position looks, if Bradford and Haynes can get the job done or if they need to spend their money there. What about the edge rusher spot, especially with the injury to Uchenna and Nwosu? Those are the things I'd keep my eye on for Seattle potentially to spend some cash here over the coming weeks ahead. What will it be? We shall see, but just wait, folks. Be patient. That money's going to be spent sooner than later, I think. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today. Doesn't cost you a thing. 100% free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Subscribe now. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.